There was a time when minorities were not seen in films. As time went on, we slowly began to see different races in the media. Despite the progress that has been made, these races have not been accurately represented in films. If you have watched, listened to, and read media all of your life, you most likely have been led to believe that African Americans are mostly rap stars, drug addicts, criminals, and/or murderers. Asians are either weak, extremely bright, kung fu fighting machines, or bad drivers. These biased views have consequently created a society that is not media literate. Almost as an attempt not to stereotype, African Americans are put in a high position of power, but usually abuse of that power. In Training Day, we see Denzel Washington abuse his rights as a police officer.
I'm the man up in this piece. You'll never see the light of who the fuck you think you fucking with. I'm the police. I run shit here. You just live here. Yeah, that's right. You better walk away. Go and walk away, because I'm going to burn this motherfucker down. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
The images that I saw on the videotape, it did show part of the reality that goes on in the Afro-American community, but it doesn't portray everything that goes on in the African-American community. And oftentimes, most of these particular films that we see on TV, they're projecting African-American people in certain stereotypical roles, as we saw, whether you are a pimp, a pusher, a prostitute, or a basketball player, or something of that nature. But I believe that it doesn't show enough movies about African American people rising.
We commonly see Asians playing the role of kung fu fighters. However, other stereotypical roles include Asians as bad drivers or as always easily excelling academically.
Don't touch nothing. Just... You can't negotiate turns, you can't signal properly, you can't maintain speed, you can't parallel park. Hell, you can't drive, honey. Should I...
Sometimes they're portrayed negatively. I'd use an example, Gone in 60 Seconds, where a gentleman is teaching an Asian woman to drive, and the scene, obviously the lady cannot control the car and she gets in an accident by backing up into a busy street. So that portrays them negatively as possibly being uncoordinated. A lot of sitcoms or cartoons like South Park and Family Guy will always have specific scenes where they're geared towards making fun of Asian people.
Hey, I promise I'll do better at this job than I did on the SATs. Come on. Do math.
When misrepresentation in the media comes to mind, you may not even think of Caucasians. However, Caucasians are often portrayed as heroic, controlling, and careless of minorities. This superior-like image is depicted in Leonardo DiCaprio's character in Blood Diamond.
So don't tell me you're here to make a difference, huh?
And you're here to make a buck?
I'm here for lack of a better idea.
That's a shame.
Not really. Peace Corps types only stay around long enough to realize they're not helping anyone. Government only wants to stay in power until they've stolen enough to go into exile somewhere else. And the rebels, they're not sure they want to take over, otherwise they'd have to govern this mess. But TIA, right, Med?
TIA.
What's TIA?
This is Africa, huh? You want another?
Sure.
I think he's portrayed as an arrogant, cocky American who has one thing in mind, and that's wealth, and that he doesn't necessarily care about the people or the surroundings, that being poverty in a third world country.
Most of what you know about members of other races comes from what you read in the paper, hear on radio, or see on television. When you ignore all of the self-righteous opinions of the media, it is easy to see that racial and ethnic stereotypes still dominate much of film today. But how do we break the mold that has been cultivated in our minds over time? There are numerous organizations that one can get affiliated with to help reduce and ideally eliminate media misrepresentations of races. Another solution is to increase racial minorities in media management so that those who direct, edit, and decide what goes on in the media are proportionately representative of the public at large.